Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today is May 4th, 2021, and today's guest is none other than Duck Guide Doug Schmidt from the Working Class Bowhunter podcast. Top of the morning to everybody out there. Today is episode 159, and it's a good one. Today's episode is with Doug Schmidt from the Working Class Bowhunter podcast, and I've said it on here before. I've had a lot of these guys on just because they're great dudes and they're good buddies of mine, so I love having them on. But today's guest is Doug Schmidt from the Working Class Bowhunter. If you haven't heard about Working Class Bowhunter, I feel like you guys should go over and listen to it because it's a good time. Those guys do awesome things, and just their conversation alone with the guests they have, it's second to none. I mean, they've been doing this a long time, and I love listening to them every week. So go over and do that. So that's my first plug. Secondly, I got a couple things right up front that I want to get into, just reminders for everybody before I get into this interview that I did with Doug. So go to our website on Humanimal. It's iamhumanimal.com. We've been putting up new content every week. I think last week we went live with 2 new turkey hunts. So if you go to the 989 story, there's 2 new turkey hunts on there. Some written word as well. I'm getting ready to finish up some stuff. Basically, it's going to be finished as you guys are listening to this, but some stuff on the 1 acre project, and I'll get into that here in a second, more what that is. But some stuff on the 1 acre and the final chapter on the Great Hambino. I actually got to go pick up the Hambino from the taxidermist last week, so I kind of document me going to pick them up and everything, so that'll be up there as well. If it's not up right now as we're talking, as this is going live on Tuesday morning, it will be up this week. So look for that as well. So that was pretty cool. I'm glad to have him home and have him on the wall. I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time. And honestly, anybody out there that likes taxidermy, I love taxidermy. So, you obviously cape him out and you cut the antlers off him. And that was in November of 2019. And you kind of lose the effect of like how you saw him when you encountered him and got the opportunity to kill him. So to get him back on a form and his hide and everything, oh my gosh, it's crazy. He looks so good, so good. I just still cannot believe that happened to me. But got him home safe and sound. He's on the wall, and I'm super pumped about that. So I guess those are kind of the only hot ticket items that I want to talk about real quick before I get into a little dissertation here. Today's episode with Doug. Doug's a big turkey hunter. Now, we don't get into a ton of like strategy and everything. It's more of like a BS session with Doug. Doug's done a lot of turkey hunting, and I just wanted to I usually do 1 turkey hunting episode a year, and I've been wanting to, sit down and bullshit with Doug. So that's what we did today. This conversation is basically just based on his and I's experiences, like what happened to us, what worked for us and what didn't, and some good stories in there. Doug's got some good stories, but he is a wild man. I mean, if you guys don't know him, he is a straight up wild man, and if you do know him and you listen to him on Working Class Bowhunter, it's that he looks just like Dale Earnhardt Sr., so he's like a younger version of that. Got one of the best mustaches in the game. I mean, his stash is second to none in my opinion. So he's got that going for him as well. But that's kind of, as I'm dropping stuff on my desk, that's kind of today's conversation. And it was a good one. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate Doug coming on and doing this. So Doug, if you're listening to this, thank you very much, buddy. So little soft transition or hard transition, whatever you want to do. Turkey season right now is going difficult for us. Me, and I've been out with a weapon in my hand one time this year, but I've been filming quite a bit and calling for friends. And honestly, it's been tough in Michigan. It's been cold, unseasonably cold. the birds just aren't out in the fields. I don't know. Something's got to give here soon. We've got one more month left of turkey season, and something's got to give. We've killed a couple birds, but nothing like we have in the past. I mean, by this time in the season, we're usually, a dozen birds in our group that we've killed. So, and I think we're at 4 or 5, maybe 6. So we're a little behind right now. So I'm gonna guess this week we're gonna be ramping up our hunting a little bit. It's been few far in between so far, but like I said, it's just either rain or really cold. And if you don't get them off the roost, if you don't get tight in on the roost and you don't get them off a roost hunt, it's tough sledding throughout the day. I mean, we haven't killed any midday birds or late in the afternoon birds yet. So that is tough, but things I think will change. And I'm just getting to the point now where it's like, I just want to get one on the ground and move on kind of thing. It's just difficult. They're humbling creatures. I'll tell you, just when you think they're dumb, you blink and they see it from 2 miles away and they're gone. And it's like, wow, okay, well, got to regroup. So I don't know. I don't know how everybody else's season's going out there. I see a lot of people on social media knocking down birds, which is awesome. So congratulations to all you guys out there that are knocking down birds. So keep that up. 2 things that I just actually thought of. Michigan people, or people that I guess want to come to Michigan and bear hunt. Last Saturday, so May 1st, the application period for Michigan bear hunts you can do it now. It's the period. It's this month, May 1st to May 31st, 30th. I don't even know how many days are in May, but yeah, it's the month of May. I think it's May 1st to June 1st, honestly, is the period. So go on there. And if you guys are interested in bear hunting in Michigan, or you just want to apply for a point or something like that, go do that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've talked about it in the past. I've got 13 points. I've saved up for 13 years. We don't really know the status on dropped yet, because dropped usually happens in September, and that's when you can bear hunt here and start. And I want to get in before all like the dog hunters get in there and run bears. So I want to get in there and do it before then. So they give you a few day period before the dog hunters get in to hunt, without dogs, and just kind of do it free of no distractions, I guess you could say. Basically how it works is, I think it's 3 or 4 days, something like that people can go in and hunt. And then like the 4th or 5th day, dog hunters, they can start running dogs. And I'll tell you, my dad used to bear hunt in Michigan, and from the stories that he's told me, basically dog hunters will jump off your bait, and once they jump bears off your bait and everything, it's very difficult. I don't know how much truth is to that, but that's kind of, once the dog hunters get in, things just get stirred around quite a bit, and the natural patterns are not like they used to be, or not like they were without the pressure. So we'll see. I really want to bear hunt this year, but I don't know. We're trying to figure that out right now. So that is one thing I want to say. And then what was the other thing? I guess I can't remember now. Merchandise, the Fall Podcast merchandise. Okay, so everybody's been reaching out to me, and my dumbass a while ago, I guess I put it on an episode that I'm going to do new merchandise. So I have all the designs made. A lot of people have been asking me, like, when's this stuff going to go live? So I just want to do an update on here to let everybody know what is going on. So where we're at in the process is all the designs are made. They're done. So the guy the company that I use for the garments, basically the shirts, hoodies, hats, and everything, things have basically went to a crawl just because of COVID. They can't get samples in. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get samples in of the garments that I want. And I'm really particular on the hoodies and shirts that I wear. So I want to get those garments in hand. I want them printed on it and then get them in hand to feel them, try them on, see how they fit and everything before I go live with it all. So right now I'm in the stage that we're at is we're still waiting on some of the samples to come in to get printed on. That's where we're at. It will happen eventually. I have shown a few people some of the designs. I'm still trying to work on ways to be able to let everybody see these. And honestly, it might be just like on Instagram and Facebook, just put them up in a section so everybody can see them, and then they can, really figure out what they want. I've had a ton of people asking me. I just don't want to like put it out there yet and just get bombarded with like orders right now. Just because I do not know when these garments are going to be in. I'm talking to the company every week, and it's just kind of one of those things that like they're coming. We just don't know when they're going to be here. So I think we've got 4 or 5 different designs that are pretty cool. I haven't designed a hat yet just because I'm really particular about hats, but right now is going to be a run of shirts and hoodies. Hats are going to be shortly coming in after. So I want to see what everybody's going to want here. But like I said, I just wanted to update real quick and let everybody know. I will let you guys know as soon as I know when these things are like a go. So hopefully this month. That's what I'm hoping. But I think that was last thing. I don't want to take too much time. I'm already at 12 minutes talking here. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to get over this interview with Doug. And lastly, I do it every week. Thank you guys very much for all the support, all the downloads. I'm very appreciative of it. Thank you. And I guess with that being said, we're going to get over this interview with Doug, and thank you guys very much. All right, welcome back to the Fall Podcast. And this week, I'm going to call you a podcast newbie for as far as a guest goes. Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
Can I say that?
That's this is my first one, so yeah, I'm a noob breaking the cherry.
Heck yeah, man. First of all, Doug Schmidt. We got Doug on from the Working Class Bowhunter podcast, and this is baffling. This is the first time you've ever been on someone else's podcast, right?
Yeah, by myself for sure.
That's crazy, man. Like, what the hell? You are basically Dale Earnhardt. I mean, you look just like the guy.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
You don't get any publicity or anything like that from your at least your mustache. I mean, your mustache is.
I'm basically just done for the mustache. I can never shave it now. It's kind of like it's like a birthmark. I can't get rid of it.
Oh my gosh! But Doug, I want to say thank you for coming on and doing this.
No problem.
I've talked to a lot of you guys and got to know a lot of you guys. You and Eric I haven't really talked to as much, but I want to change that a little bit, and I want to get you on. I'm going to try to get him on too. But I know you're a big turkey hunter, and this is going to be live in turkey season, so I want to bullshit turkey hunting with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, that I can do.
It's different because, I pride myself on the Whitetail podcast, but you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit, so everybody's turning their dial off right now because they don't want to listen to turkey hunting, but I don't care.
Hey, we all live for whitetails, but, turkey season comes around. It's always nice to get out there.
For sure. I
nice
agree.
Weather.
Yeah. And it's cabin fever. It's been colder and shit all winter. And trying to get out there. And honestly, so my neighbor right now, he's got, I'll call them pet turkeys or whatever, but in the morning drinking coffee in the sun hasn't come up yet, but that gray light or whatever, you'll hear that gobbler just sound off, and I'm like,
yeah,
I love it.
Going.
I love it. I'm surprised he hasn't
I'm ready for it.
I know, man. It's getting close. Well, we're recording this early April, so it'll go live during turkey season, but I'm chomping at the bit. And I guess that's the first thing I want to ask you is turkey season for you, like, do you look forward to it all year? Or is it like something that, around this time, March, April, you're like really starting to get geared up for it?
Yeah, I kind of do look forward to it every year, but when whitetails come, your mind changes a lot.
Sure.
You're set on that, but after January 10th for us in Iowa, whitetails are over. You get shed hunting and stuff, but turkey's always on my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you see them bow hunting and stuff, so you're like, you see a long beard, you're like, oh man.
Now, when you do see that, like in the fall, because when I see turkeys in the fall when I'm deer hunting, it's just like, there's some turkeys. I never really think like, man, I can't wait for turkey season. I don't know why. It's just whitetails have always rivaled it for me, but it's just like, it's fun to watch. For you, is it like, man, I chomping at the bit here. You got a pretty big beard. I'm gonna be after you this spring. Is that something for you?
Yeah, yes. I scout them out. I pick out my one I'm gonna kill this year. It's kind of like that. I mean, we can get a fall turkey tag, so you can't shoot them, but like on the places I hunt, you really don't get that much of a chance.
Okay. And now you're in Iowa, right? You live in Iowa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got best of both worlds. You got great eastern turkey hunting, and you've got, I mean, the land of the giants for the whitetails too.
Oh yeah, I got the whole shebang over here.
So you're just a spoiled brat, is what we can call you.
Yeah, I was blessed to be born in Iowa. I'll say that.
I love giving Iowa people shit because.
No, yeah, I'll take it all because I'm here. You guys aren't.
Oh man, and I don't know if you've ever been anywhere else other than Iowa turkey hunting.
I've been to Kansas.
Okay, Kansas is good turkey hunting. Okay, yep. Now Michigan, I will put Michigan turkey hunting. I equate Michigan turkey hunting to like Iowa deer hunting. It's just we've got a lot of birds and we've got some big birds. I mean, my dad shot a couple birds in the low 30-pounders, like just massive birds. And
those are monsters.
Yeah, and they're tough birds. I will say that. And but man, they turkeys to me are just humbling creatures. They're uglier and shit, and you think they're dumb, and then they see you open up the truck door from 2 miles away, and they're like gone. Right? It's like what the hell?
Do a glimpse and they're gone.
Yeah.
Then other times you just seem like you can walk out there and blast one. It's turkey hunting always interests me just because of the, one day they come running right in, you get one. The next, 3 days you're sitting there not seeing shit.
Yep. So turkeys to me were meant to be shot in the face with a shotgun. So do you feel the same way? I mean, I've shot a lot of birds with a bow. But are you more partial to a bow or a shotgun right to the beak?
So I grew up, since I was 12 to probably since I started the podcast, I killed one bird with a bow before that. So, I was always a run and gun kind of guy, sit up next to a fence post and put out the decoys and call them in. But now I would say I'm all bow. I bought all bow tags this year. So.
Oh, really? So do you have to specify what tag you buy for what weapon?
So in Iowa, there's 4 seasons. And then if you get a gun tag, it can only be for 1 season.
Okay. But
if you get a bow tag, it's for all seasons.
And can you kill more than one bird?
Yes. So if I buy 2 bow tags, I can kill 2 birds, if they both come in.
Oh, that's nice.
So I hope that happens this year. I haven't had it happen yet with a bow, but...
So you've never doubled up on birds in a year then?
I doubled up with my mom and my brother before.
Okay, I gotcha.
But not solo by myself with the bow. So hopefully this year it happens. We'll see.
Yep. What's the biggest tom or biggest turkey you've taken?
I actually just picked up mine yesterday from Mark Reif from the podcast. He's a taxidermist.
Yeah. Yep.
I actually just picked mine up. It was 20 and a half pounds with 11 and a half inch beard and I think 1 3/4 spurs.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
That thing's a hammer.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was with the gun though, so.
That's all right. How'd you get them mounted?
I just did a fan and then on a plaque.
Okay.
And then Mark kind of spiced up the spurs for me. They look pretty nice.
I gotcha.
And then it can hold 2 more beards, so hopefully I add to that.
Oh, so he made a plaque where you can put multiple beards on it then?
Yeah, he ordered one for me.
Nice. Good deal. Now, turkey hunting in Iowa, I've never done it, and I'm sure it's a lot of the same around, the turkey woods throughout the Midwest, but like is there anything unique to Iowa when it comes to turkey hunting? Is it landscapes? Is it big where you're at? Is it rolling hills? Is it flatter than a pancake? Like, what do you got?
You got a mix of little steep ridges, but mostly you hunt fields and go from there. But you can get in the timber on them and roost them. But where I hunt, you can't really roost them. You got to call them into the field. So I usually go from the field and hopefully they come in.
Okay, so you're not roosting them like night before or day before or anything like that?
No, I've roosted them before on public, but I just take the private now.
Okay. So that's one thing I really like to do, and that's how my philosophy changes a little bit. Like, if I can roost a bird, if I know what tree he's in, I'm getting as tight as humanly possible. Like I'll get out ass early in the morning, like dark, to try to get as tight as I can to get underneath him. Is that kind of something you like to do if you do roost a bird?
Yeah. I mean, you want to get as close as possible. You want to be where they're landing, you know, like,
Yeah.
if you can do a few yelps to let them know you're there, and they'll come right in usually.
Yep. So let's say scenario here, hypothetical, and I know could be very situational, but let's say you've got a tom roosted and you set up on him in the morning before daylight. How are you working him while he's on the limb? Like, are you talking to him a lot, or what kind of calling are you doing? Like, what's your philosophy in the morning before he even flies down?
I would say I'm more of a aggressive caller.
Okay.
So I usually wait until I hear a gobble usually. If it's not even him, and then you kind of give a few yelps to let them know you're there at least. I mean, they got good eyesight, so they probably already see your decoys, hopefully.
Yep.
But, start talking dirty to them.
Oh, I love it.
You gotta know you're available, you know?
Now, do you like to sound like the single girl at the bar, or is it more, I mean, are you not drunk yet, or are you more of like you're sober, but you're just out there mingling ready, or, what kind of girl are you like trying to sound like?
I'm probably the hammered chick at the bar, ready to go home.
So does your yelp like cut halfway off through in the middle, like yow yow wow? Like,
I'll throw some long yelps out there, but I just let them know that I'm out there. Buy me a drink, you know.
What's the best way to tell a tom that you're single through your calling?
That's a tough one. I like to do some loud yelping, so like that drunk girl at the bar is always the loudest.
She is, and she's usually
she gets your attention though. You always look at her.
Oh my gosh.
Think about it. If you're at the bar, everyone's looking at her like, what the hell?
It's true. I mean, it is true. But I guess if we can figure out how to tell toms that we are single as the hen, I mean, we've got it made.
Game over.
It's game over.
Almost too easy then.
And then you got a group of like 3 or 4 Jakes come in, and then your tom, he's subordinate. He just thinks he's going to get his butt kicked. So many scenarios.
Those ones are the worst.
Yeah.
Those ones are hard to get in.
Are you, on a more serious note, when you're yelping to him in the tree, are you, when it gets to the point of like thinking he's gonna fly down, or you want him to fly down, are you doing any fly down cackles or anything like that?
No, I usually don't do that, but I've heard people do that, and then like the wing, like take your hat and flop it on the ground.
Yep.
I've never really experienced with that. I mean, I usually just yelping at them, and then maybe some prayers and stuff. They'll hopefully they're interested enough to fly down.
Yeah. Now, when you're yelping and doing a couple soft purrs or whatever, obviously to a turkey, I mean, he can hear and see really well, so he knows that hen is on the ground. Like he knows where that call's coming from.
Yeah.
So like, if it's obviously that time where it's not like really light for that they're going to be flying down, are you calling before they would normally fly down, or is it like, are you waiting for a certain light to be out there? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to sound like a hen
you
is
don't overcool that,
yeah. Yep. Are you doing that at all? Or are you waiting for like a certain time to like, okay, they would be down, so I'm going to start calling to kind of like maybe throw the Philly fake out in there maybe?
I usually like to call before they fly down, actually. So
okay,
I like to let them know, because where I hunt, my parents' farm, they roost in the neighbors in the timber, and they'll come out to the field. So I usually let them know, drunk girl's out there already partying.
She's out there early in the morning, hasn't went to bed yet.
We need to make our own mouth call called the drunk girl at the bar.
Dude. The drunk girl, and then we could make one called the Walk of Shame.
Yeah, the Walk of Shame, yeah.
Let's do something like that. We should actually name a decoy. Like, let's make a decoy that's called the Walk of Shame. You got the feeder hens, you got the breeding hens, you got the leading hens. Let's do a Walk of Shame hen.
Yeah, it's already all dusty, too.
Yeah.
Be perfect.
And she's got like only 3 tail feathers. Like, she just beat up,
It's just rough looking, but.
And then you could even have like a little cigarette if you wanted that you could put in her mouth if you wanted or not.
There you go.
I think we're hunting something here.
Yeah, or we have like we'll call it the brunch. A bunch of girls out there.
just a gaggle of them, just a whole bunch of them.
And what Tom could pass that up,
I mean, if not a Tom, you're gonna at least attract 3 or 4 Jakes.
Oh, for sure.
And
goddamn Jakes.
I mean, a lot of times I'm not above it. It's,
I try not to shoot them anymore, but
yep.
It's actually funny in Kansas. It's like an 8-hour drive. Me, Kurt, and Papa Dave were going down there. I said to myself, I was like, there's no way I'm shooting Jake. Like, driving 8 hours. I'm going to get a mature Rio for my first turkey, my first Rio. And we get there and we get out. It's me and Blake from Prairie Storm. And this Jake comes, he looks like a Tom coming in the whole time. It's like perfect footage. And he's like, it's a Jake. And I'm like, fuck.
Did he fan out?
Yeah, he was gobbling, fanning out and everything. Come run right in the decoys. And, I have a bow. We're sitting on the ground, no blind.
Yep.
I'm just like, fuck it. I'm shooting it. It's too perfect.
Wait, did he have a Tom fan or a Jake fan then?
He had it was almost a Tom fan.
Okay, so he's trying. Yeah, he's trying.
He definitely had a Jake beard though.
Okay. I've blown up a lot of Jakes in my life, and now to the point where, see, in Michigan, we only get 1 tag. We can only kill 1 bird, which sucks. But, I've killed quite a few turkeys, and I've got, my closest friends, they're turkey hunters, but they haven't killed a lot of birds, and I just like going to calling. I like, you guys kill birds first. Let's go around, do some Rochambeaus. We'll do like a weekend where the 4 of us get together and we'll just, try to be like a whole bunch of women at the bar, I guess, and go around and get gobblers all spiced up and get them to come into the calls. And that's some of the best times though. Like,
when you're with your buddies is the best.
Yeah. And, I don't have a camera or nothing, so it's time for me to like let my hair down and just kind of like, like we used to do it when we were kids, and because I have a camera either with me or on me all the time, so it's like that's nice to be able to just take your calls out and sit on a freaking stump and just call and see what happens. That's a lot of fun for me. So
yeah, it'd be nice to do that again. Usually now we have a camera everywhere, but
yeah. That's the world we live in, Doug.
Just track them down and blast their faces off.
Yep, for sure. So, do you like hunting out of a blind, or is it more like I want to find a stump or a deadfall?
Now that I got a bow, I'm a big fan of a blind because all the camera stuff and if you have someone with you, it just makes everything. Pulling a bow back is so much easier. Like they don't even know it's coming.
Are you not going to jump on the double barrel crossbow this year?
I thought about it.
I figured you might be that guy that you'd want to do that.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Kurt might not let you do it. He might. He
wouldn't. He might
fire you from the podcast.
Yeah. That'd be funny if I did that.
I think what you should do is get one. Don't tell anybody about it. Go shoot a bird with 2 bolts, and then take a picture of it, and then just say, hey, let's do a podcast about my turkey hunt, and then give him that for your cover art and see what he says.
There you go, yeah. Just like mid-podcast, lay it on him what I shot it with, actually.
Yeah, like you're an hour in. So, guys, I've got a little something to tell you here. Shot this with a double
crossbow, but send me one and we'll talk.
Oh, my gosh, I love it. What I get, okay, so talking about turkeys, I just love hearing other stories. What is your favorite turkey hunt of all time you've ever been on?
Ooh, of all time.
Putting you on the spot.
I guess my first turkey with a bow. I was hunting with my buddy Clayton. He's on the working class Bowhunter team. And we put out every decoy we had. So we had 12 decoys out.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we had a flock. We were so bored in the afternoon because in Iowa you can hunt in the afternoon, so we're so bored.
Yeah, we can do that too. We can hunt all day.
Yeah, it was a hot ass day. and these 3 toms come in, but they're hung up because we have 12 decoys. We got like 2 strutters and 3 jakes out there, and the rest are hens.
You have literally a gaggle of decoys.
It was a party, yeah. And they didn't really want to party, so they got, I think we finally got one at 35 yards, and I shot up the ass, but it flew away, and Clayton takes off running for it, and it flew across the whole cornfield to a creek. Finally, like, gets in some brush and tried hiding, and we found him. I catch up to him, and I didn't bring my bow, and it's still alive. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I run back there, grab both bows. I get there. This is like 500 yards. It's hot out. I'm tired. Out of shape, probably. Drinking too much. And I go to shoot it. I miss it. It goes more into the brush. I'm like, shit. It's across this big-ass creek.
Oh, my gosh.
Then I shoot again, and I miss.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I think I missed like 2 or 3 times. Finally hit it. Finally kill it. And then we go to cross it, and Clayton gets there, and he's like, oh, it's not that bad. And he takes one more step. He's chest deep in water.
Ugh.
He's just soaked. Gets over there to grab it. It wasn't even dead yet, so it took off a little more. Finally caught it. It was all wet. It was a pretty big bird, but yeah, it was a shit show.
To say the least. I mean, when you were running across that field, did you have your mustache? Was it like pretty big, wind resistant going through there?
This is pretty mustache.
Oh, this is slick face.
This is pretty college, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. So then your aerodynamics, you were pretty quick then. You were scurrying right across that field.
Yeah. You should have seen me without the mustache. I was the Flash out there. Pulls me down now.
Oh, a little resistance. Little rudder resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I still got it, though. I think maybe I could probably chase one down still.
There you go. Just a track star over there running 4.240s, just lickety split. I don't have very good top end, but I'm quick off the jump. I mean, I got two, three steps on you, and then my top end really slows really down.
I'd go to say I'm probably the fastest one in world class bowhunter.
Okay,
that has one time, and I beat him.
That has to be documented. I gotta see it now.
I've seen some of them run, and I'm not impressed.
I'm actually gonna probably put my money on either Austin or Ross, because
Austin's got those long legs. That's true.
I feel like Ross is built like a little fullback, like, and I feel like he could get you.
he might be able to. We'll have to see.
Austin's got some long legs, though.
Yeah, maybe at Turkey Palooza, I'll see how fast they run.
Either that, or I'm trying to come out to the shoot. So if I'm at the shoot, I'm documenting this.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh, that'd be great. So when you are hunting with a shotgun, what is your weapon of choice? Like, what are you looking at?
I got my baby 12 gauge Super Mag 870 Remington.
Oh yeah.
3.5 inch. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one you shoot once for target practice, and your shoulder hurts, and you say you're good.
So I've got a story. I've got the same gun. Okay.
Yes.
my dad bought me this gun. So we can turkey hunt when we're 12 here in Michigan, and so let's put it into perspective. When I graduated high school, I was 5'10", 145 pounds soaking wet. Like, I was just a little needle.
Yeah.
You know, I
was this is going to go bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I was 12, this is, 6 or so years before then, I'm like maybe 80 pounds. Okay. My dad buys me this Remington 870, shooting 3.5s out of it. And that's what you said. You had Remington 870, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so my dad, we're going to pattern it for the first time. He puts it together. It's, coming into the spring. And he's like, I'm going to shoot it first. And I'm behind him. I'm sitting behind him. And I'm going to shoot it first and yada, yada. He shoots it. Unbeknownst to me, he tells me this later in life. He's like, it kicked my ass. He's like, he's like, it kicked me hard. So he doesn't say anything to me being a 12-year-old little, little kid. puts me right on.
What could it hurt, right?
Yeah, exactly. What could it hurt? He's like, shoulder it up, hold it tight right to your cheek and everything. Put it right on the turkey's head, and we're just patterning it and everything. And boom, I let it go, and he said, I remember like doing a barrel roll, literally back, and it knocking me right on my ass. I mean, I was already sitting down, but it was like I literally went ass over tea kettle. And
yeah, I believe it.
He said from his perspective, he's like, you looked up at me and you had a deer in the headlight look, and he said, you said, let's shoot it again. I want to shoot it again. And he's like, nope, it patterned all right. So he didn't want me to shoot it again.
It's actually a funny story. When I was probably 12, my brother was 14. There was a tom strutting down in a lower field, so my dad took us down there. We snuck up to the field edge. He's probably now 40 yards out there, so my dad let him use his super mag.
Yep.
And he did the same thing. He shot once, and he barrel rolled back. The tom, I mean, hell, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but the tom didn't even move. Like, he was just out there with turkeys. And my dad's like, you want to shoot it again? My brother's like, no, I'm good. So we didn't get a turkey that day, but and they looked at me, and I was just, I'm not touching that thing.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. And so my dad, he hunts with a single shot 10 gauge. And
Oh boy.
like, I remember one time I was younger, and we're sitting there on a bird. It was right after a roost hunt, and we kind of got up, and we were trying to, so my property my family farm, it's like 210 acres. Well, it's got a trail system through the whole property. So what we would do all day is literally walk the trails throughout the timber, and it's pretty rolling hills, and we just try to strike up a bird. If we can get one struck up, we'll go after him.
Yep.
Well, we get done with the roost hunt, and we knew the gig was like, let's just walk around and strike up a bird. Well, we finally get one struck up, and we're like, hurry up, sit down, set the deeks up, and we sit down. I'm sitting behind my dad. I wasn't hunting. I was too young or whatever, but he's sitting there, and all of a sudden, we're calling, yep, and yelping and everything. Out of nowhere, here comes this coyote from the right, and he's coming in, and he puts the bead on him, rolls this dog, okay? I mean, shoots him right in the face, like rolls
Beautiful.
This thing, and I'm like, this is single shot 10 gauge. I mean, I've seen him shoot through saplings, like when you do like a clear cut and you get those popple shoots and everything that come back that are probably 3 inches in diameter, maybe. I've seen him shoot through saplings, and the sapling just timber, like single shot. I never understood why he needed a single shot 10 gauge. But anyway, rolls this dog. I'm like, this dog is done. Gets right up, runs right off. And I'm like, holy crap, But tough dog. But I guess I really don't know where I was going with this story other than rolling a coyote with a single shot 10 gauge was pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Have you ever had any coyotes coming in and bust your setups or anything like that?
I've never had, I've had them come in before turkey showed up and after, but never like while Tom was coming in or anything.
Okay.
So maybe they ruined it before I even knew it, but
yep.
I've never had them actually come in the decoys either. They tend to stay away.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen those videos like on social media or anything like that. Like the couple people have, coyotes coming into decoys and like destroying the decoys, almost like
that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing that and then sticking them with an arrow.
What would be your holy grail turkey? Like, what would that look like? Like size, like what would be like a big bird to you?
I would say over 30 pounds, and then 11 and a half for bigger beard. And then, I've always wanted to kill one with 2-inch spurs, but that's a hard one.
That's huge.
It's a hard one to get.
That's so big. I think the biggest beard I've seen, again, my dad's a big turkey hunter. He shot one that was just touching 12, a beard, just touching 12. Like it was like one of the last strands, you know what I mean? That was just like, you can eke it out, like one of those that just touching 12. Oh, yeah, you got to count that.
My dad has one. We bought the farm in 95, so I was 4, but I think in the 90s, he shot one in the back of a triangle patch that was, he's got a full body mounted to this day, and I think it was 32 pounds.
Holy shit.
I think it was almost 12-inch beard, and then like one, and it was almost 2-inch spurs too.
Wow. Such a big bird.
Yeah.
Jeez. What?
Just like in whitetails, I can't catch him. He's got a 203 non-typical.
Your dad does?
Beat him. Yeah.
Jeez.
The 22 pointer.
From Iowa?
A typical 8-pointer too.
So he's a mainframe 8-pointer and just has trash.
Yeah.
And he was what? 20 what?
203.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't catch him. You've got a lot. You got big shoes to fill, Doug.
Yeah. He's a tough bastard to catch,
Jeez.
And he'll rub it in your face too. He'll let you know every time you shoot him.
Well, your mom killed a pretty good deer a couple years ago, didn't she? Or last year or something like that?
So last year, early mother, she killed a 162-inch 10-pointer, and then this year she killed a 172-inch 10-pointer. So,
jeez.
Yeah, I'm just doing all the scouting for him. I'm just a land management guy. I need a new job.
You're just land management / guide /
guide. Yeah.
Well, you're a big duck guide though, right? Too.
I was wondering if I was gonna get brought up or not.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Duck Guide Doug, you just got to go to Working Class Bowhunter podcast and listen to the episodes until you can find that episode.
Yeah, that one took off like wildfire. I wasn't prepared for that one.
I do have a question to ask you. What happened to the podcast recently with the Drury guys that you were not on? What happened there? Why weren't you on that podcast, Doug?
I was there.
You were a warm human. That's all you were.
Yeah, let's just say you're at a trade show drinking all day. You get back after eating a bunch of food too. Sometimes you gotta take a nap.
Did you go into a coma, or was it like just a little cat nap?
I think it was like a little food coma.
Yeah. when I don't know who it was who said it. I think it was Kurt or something. He goes, "Hey Doug, glad you could join us." And I'm like, what's going on here?
I think I haven't listened to that podcast yet. I think I'm gonna stay away from that one. I know.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Tough crowd to be around those guys, though, right?
I'd say it happens, but that's the first time for me.
You'll get that on those big jobs.
You'll have
on those big jobs.
I mean, you have Greg on from Dre Outdoors killing 3 200-inchers in 4 years. My mind was too blown,
I mean,
couldn't comprehend it.
Dude, that guy is a straight killer. Like, What was it? 3 200-inchers in 4 years?
Yeah, and then one of the years he killed the 194. So I mean,
might as well be.
Talk about a guy that knows how to kill big deer.
Yeah, no kidding. What's your biggest deer? Not that it matters, but I'm just curious.
When I was 14 in youth season, I shot a 176 14-pointer.
So you tripped into one.
Yeah, I actually did trip into that one.
Kidding.
I didn't know that one was there, actually.
I'm kidding. I'm just trying to be a hard ass.
That was before we did trail cameras. So,
what was that all about? Like, what was the story behind that?
The 176?
Yeah.
So we found, it was my biggest shed till this year. I found a 82-inch side 5-point with a kicker off the G2, and we're going in to kill him. But I mean, I'm 14. If like a 150 walked out, I was going to shoot it anyways.
Right.
I had my uncle with me, and this big one walks out, and he's like, "You want to shoot it?" And like, I think he really wanted me to kill the big, 180-inch 10-pointer. But this one walks out, and he hands me the binoculars. You want to shoot him? I didn't even look at the binoculars. I'm just shaking in my pants already. So,
what were you thinking when this thing came out?
I mean, I've never seen on the hoof anything that big at 14. So, hell, when you're 14, you see a 120-incher, you're like, damn, that's a big deer.
Doug, at 14, I was trying to kill a 100-inch deer.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
I mean, by that time, I only had, I think, 2 bucks killed.
Yeah.
And they're all like, first one I killed was 100 inches probably, and then probably a 115. So you see a 176 walk out. It's pretty amazing.
But did you really think, like, now that we know, like, we know what a 170 is, did you know at that time, like...
No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
To me, like
that's
at
crazy.
14, I thought it was like a 200-inch deer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
nuts.
still now, I mean, he's got a bunch of junk. He probably still, I mean, of course, I'd still shoot him any time of the day now, but.
Right. So he came out and you just popped him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he probably was out there for 2 minutes before I blasted him.
When he asked you if you want to see the binoculars, you're like, hell no, give me the gun.
I did like the Philly fake. Like I put them up to my face. I wasn't even looking. I was just looking at the deer the whole time. I wasn't even looking at the binoculars.
I can imagine you just lift him up, don't even touch your eyes, and you put him back down. Give me the gun. Give me the gun. Oh man, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So when you killed that deer, was there a big turning point? Do you remember at that point it was like, wow, like I really accomplished something, and did something change for you?
Yeah, for me, I mean, like I said, my dad killed a 200-incher in the 80s. I mean, I grew up, I mean, I was born with a 200-inch deer on the wall already. So staring at that, and my whole family hunts, they all had big deer already. So, I mean, I knew I was going to get in the mix of shooting big ones. I didn't know it was going to start at 14, but
right
after that was kind of a turning point of it can be done. So
yep.
I've always been a 150 or bigger kind of guy.
Really?
Since then.
Well, I mean, you live amongst them in Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, they're around every tree, right?
Exactly. That's what everybody says, man. But I guess because it's kind of an ongoing joke around me, like we have a youth hunt that, I mean, every state's got a youth hunt. Our youth hunt comes in about mid-September to like around the 20th of September. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I hate it for the fact that a lot of kids that I went to high school with, it ruined kids. Like they'd go out and shoot 150, 160-inch deer in September. And like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more kids and more younger generation into hunting. Well, I feel like the people around me, it kind of did like the reverse effect to it, where it was like they didn't really latch onto it. But they go out and kill this giant deer on such a pattern that, I mean, it's only a matter of time. You just got to sit in the blind. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, you're right.
So when you killed this deer, was it something like, now looking back, were you almost, I guess what's the word for him? Like spoiled, as a 14-year-old, where you're like, man, now, do you feel like you have something that you need to uphold, like you need to get back to that, or you need to stay at a certain level to feel like you're accomplishing anything to yourself?
I guess to a certain point, yeah. I mean, I was, going for 150 or bigger from there, but I mean, like I said, my whole family was already doing it. I mean, I already knew, like they're already teaching me how to, kill big deer.
Right.
But I wouldn't say I went to that extent where it had ruined deer hunting for me. I mean, obviously, since
right. I mean,
I'm still deer hunting and everything.
Exactly, and that's all you do.
My first bow buck when I was 16 was probably only 120 inches. So.
Yep.
And then this year I killed 130-inch 8-pointer last day of the season. So I mean, it's still like, I don't know. It didn't humble me like that or anything like where it ruined deer hunting for me. It almost sparked a fire more to, kill just as big deer or bigger from there.
Yep. So now, okay, so you killed a 130-inch deer this last year, last day of season. Did you ever feel guilty about that deer?
I guess a little bit. I mean, he was on my parents' farm. I mean, I've seen him. I didn't get the opportunity to shoot him before, but I mean, I've seen him 4 or 5 times before that hunting.
Yep.
I was after this really old, mature 8-pointer. I was probably 140 inches, but last day of season, I mean, he came out, and it was kind of weird. I mean, actually, I talked on our own podcast. Yeah, we haven't podcasted about it.
Oh, maybe maybe we shouldn't talk about this. Kurt might.
No, it's not, yeah. But he was out there 300 yards. I mean, I didn't think he was going to come in, and then 20 minutes left in the season, a little buck was in front of him, and the little buck just like literally ran like right at me, like 60 yards, and he just followed him. I was like, well, meant to be, it's meant to be. So,
yep,
just laid the hammer on him.
Were you ecstatic about that? I mean, you watched him come from 300 yards, so you had time to think about it. I mean,
Oh yeah, I
did you
mean
have
it
to
was.
talk yourself into it, or was it like, no,
Oh
like I'm
no,
killing this thing?
once he got in range, I was like, it's going down.
I like that. I like that because you've killed some giant deer, man. Like you live in Iowa, so and this is the question I've been wanting to ask, like you and Eric, because you both live in Iowa, and
Hmm.
do you feel like living in Iowa, you have to be held to a certain standard, like to see or to show everybody that you're like an accomplished hunter? Do you feel like you have something over your head that you need to be at a certain standard, like you need to kill a certain animal?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I feel like you say you're from Iowa, people want to see pictures right away of what you killed to see if you're up to I guess the Iowa standard, if you
Right,
want to
right.
call it, like 150 or bigger.
Yep. Now, when you show people that picture of the 130-inch deer, even if you do, or are you not showing people that? You know what I mean? Like if people ask and like, yeah, I killed this one, are you showing them, or are you like just fly under the radar there?
I mean, I'd probably show them. I mean, if they're gonna ask what I killed, last season,
Yeah.
I mean, it don't bother me none. You can make fun of me if you want, but it's on the wall. So
No, 100%, man. And that I'm not trying to, get dirt on you or anything like that or make fun of you. That's because that's what I come from. Like, I talk about it all the time. Like, I don't get me wrong, I want to shoot the biggest deer out there, and I love hearing stories about big deer dying. But like for you to go out and shoot a 130-inch deer and just be so jacked about it, that fires me up, man. I love that.
oh yeah, it was. It was actually pretty funny because it was my parents' farm. Their backyard goes into a cornfield, and it's like a huge, 100-acre cornfield. And they actually watched, like they could watch me from the backyard. I mean, I was probably 400 yards away from them, but they could see the deer through the spine scope.
No kidding.
Killing it, yeah.
That's really cool.
I was pretty jacked up about it. I mean, I hunted my ass off bow season. I mean, I was in the tree almost after work.
Yep.
I get every other week. I get 3 days, 3-day weekend to hunt. So, I mean, I've been in the tree since October, and it wears you down. I know that.
Hell yeah, man. And you took it down to the wire. I mean, the last 20 minutes, you said?
Yeah, last 20 minutes.
That's grinding it out, man. I just, like I said, big deer, make people go crazy. And I love big deer. I love chasing big deer. But honestly, I mean, if I can kill 115 or 120 inch deer here in Michigan, I am jacked. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know the realistic.
Yeah.
Or I mean, how would you want to say it? The relative, what the deer are around me. You got to be realistic with yourself. And I can't kill 160-inch deer because I don't have them on my farm. So I'm just curious because I don't talk to a ton of guys from Iowa that have hunted there their whole life, and I feel like you guys are put on a pedestal without being wanting to be put on a pedestal, if that makes sense. Like you guys should be the upper
right.
echelon.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You hear Iowa. I mean, it is called the land of the giants. So, people want to see pictures of your, all your big deer. But I mean, Eric, he only started bow hunting a few years ago, before, like maybe 2 years before the podcast started.
Yep.
He's got a nice one with his bow, but it's not as easy as everyone thinks it is.
No, man, it's still hunting. Like, I think I was an anomaly when I went to Iowa in 19 because I had the best 6 days of my life. Not a lot of people. I saw, I think it was $5 over 140, all within bow range, and two of them, one was in the 170s, and the other one was the one I ended up killing was in the mid 180s. Like that doesn't happen. Like
No.
That's just hitting it at the right time and getting really lucky. Like I'm not saying
that's
there's
just like prime time and just
that's every
right place,
star
right time.
aligning.
It could happen, but rarely do you ever hear about that.
I know. Have you ever had anything like that though? Where things are just lining up, for a certain amount of time, or like one day, one sit, where it's just like you're just seeing every shooter on the farm. Have you ever had that happen?
I had the one year I killed that 170 with my bow with a 17.5-inch G2.
With a what?
A 17.5-inch G2.
17.5-inch G2?
Yeah. If he would have been a typical 8-pointer, he would have been like 170 something as an 8-pointer, but he had a 5-point side that, I mean, Kurt actually scored him. He netted 135. That's how many deductions he had.
Holy shit.
And that's why nets are for fishing.
It's exactly why nets are for fishing. He grows it, you give it to him.
Yeah. That day I probably saw 14 bucks in one day, and I shot him at 8:30 in the morning.
14 bucks that day, and you shot him. So okay, I get it. You didn't see 14 bucks before you shot him.
No, I saw some after, but
okay,
most of them were before. I passed up a probably 150-inch 8-pointer right before him. Actually,
you're a better man than I am.
Yeah, I was kicking myself until that happened. So.
Oh man, I don't know a lot of people that are passing up 150s. I'm not passing up 140s. Hell, I'm not passing up 130s in the right scenario.
Yeah. Well, it's weird actually, growing up in Iowa with the stigma, but I mean, it is true that I usually go for 150 or bigger.
Yeah.
And then you talk to like, you from Michigan or someone from PA, and it's like, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
It's like weird growing up to hear those stories like, oh, so it's not like this everywhere.
Yep. Well, and it's funny, like, if I see a buck that grosses, I think he's gonna gross 100 inches or a little bigger, then I like kind of flip to age. I shouldn't say it like that, but like I want to kill a 3-year-old here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill a 3-year-old, but like I really don't have. I guess the only criteria I really have is like he's got to get me going. If I see him and I'm like, yep, I'm going to kill him, then yeah, I'm going to do that. Last year, I actually had an October 2nd. I did like a blind hang and hunt set up on my family farm in Oak Ridge, and I heard a twig snap. I was filming myself. I look back, and I see a frame, and I'm like, holy shit. And he was in the thick stuff, and I'm like, man, what is that? I initially said shooter. And he's just eating on acorns and whatever. And I knew he was going to work my way because I was between him and the destination food. I just didn't know if he was going to get to me before, day or before dark hit. And he kind of come out, and I picked the binos up, and I looked at him. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, when I do I don't know, then I shouldn't shoot him. And he came right underneath my tree. I filmed him, and I put him at right about the 100-inch mark, a gross 100-inch. But man, he was a puppy dog. Like I couldn't put him any days over 2.5. I could not put him over that. And I was like, he didn't excite me, And it was like I let him walk, and a lot of people are thinking like, well, oh yeah, it's a 100-inch deer. Well. Yeah, that's pretty few far in between here in the area where I'm hunting. But if I do that, I don't know, kind of movement to myself, I'm like, nope, I shouldn't be shooting. I've got to be for sure right off the get, like, okay, shooter,
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I passed up some pretty good deer that I probably should have shot, but if I do I don't know, I didn't touch one of the bow. I'll make sure not, because if you touch your bow, then you start leaning towards the other way.
Exactly. You start talking yourself into it.
Yeah. I try staying away from that.
Yep. Are you going out of state at all to hunt whitetails?
I don't think so.
Or have you? I guess I should say.
I had before. I went to Kentucky when I was in high school one time.
Okay.
And this was deep in Kentucky. It was like you go to a restaurant, I can't understand what anyone's saying, how bad it is. It was interesting. It was I used a rifle too. It was the first time I used a rifle. I ended up shooting a doe, but
okay.
I don't think I ever go back there, but
I guess
it's Kentucky, but
I guess what I'm getting at is if you were going to, let's say, Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, something like that, and another big buck state, are you changing your criteria at all? Like, what are you looking for when you're going out of state?
I actually did go to Missouri once too with Philip Vanderpool.
Okay.
And there were some good deer there, but we never saw them. And it's only a week, so I guess my criteria would go down a little bit, because you paid to hunt there. So
right. Yep.
130 or something walks by, I'll probably shoot it, but you have high hopes going on do a deer camp. In your head you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill a 160 on film. It'd be awesome.
Right.
But it's not like that.
Yeah.
You learn real quick that all those hunts you see on TV it doesn't go like that.
No, they do not. And it's tough. Like you said, growing up in Iowa, living in Iowa, being the big buck state. I mean, you've killed some big deer, but it doesn't happen every year like that,
Yeah, it's hard to convince me to hunt somewhere else. I mean, I'd rather go kill a mule deer or an elk hopefully someday, but
Yep. I could see that. Me being in Michigan, I love traveling out of state. I love hunting Michigan. Do not get me wrong. I love hunting whitetails in Michigan. But I do look forward to traveling out of state. I mean, I've been very fortunate to kill some pretty good deer out of state.
yeah, you got some monsters.
Well, not as big as the deer you're killing or you guys are killing, but I've been okay. But one state that's really got me, well, actually two states that really got me hooked is Illinois and Ohio are the two states that I've been to that I've hunted and have not killed a buck in. So I think I'm going to hunt Illinois this year. So I'm really hoping to change that luck this year. I'm hoping.
Yeah, nothing against Illinois. I mean, Ross Bigger, hell, he killed a 200-incher this year. I mean, they're awesome, trad bow. They're curtain them and they're all stacking them down. But, over-the-counter tags, I would go to Iowa, too. Illinois, sorry.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to come back to Iowa. I drew in 19, so 22 or 23, I think. I'm hoping to go back.
Yeah, I'm actually not mad about the point system for Iowa. I think we'd be flooded if they did over-the-counter.
It would be a bad deal. I'm glad, as much as I hate being a non-resident, I'm glad it is the way it is because,
right.
I went there in 19 with the goal I wanted to shoot a 140-inch deer. I wanted it to be a 4-year-old 140-inch deer was going to be had to be bigger than that. And, boy, I surpassed that. And honestly, I was going to kill a deer, a 9-point that was, I figured to be in the low 150s. A couple days before I killed the deer I ended up killing. And, dude, that deer had me going. I wanted him so bad. But no, now I honestly, and I was talking to Jeremy Beck about this on our podcast about how, and actually maybe I was talking to him off the podcast, but I feel like I've killed my deer of the lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, you accomplish that. Now it's all gravy. Everything from here. I hope to be able to do that again, or maybe one bigger. Who knows? But I feel like it's all gravy from here. I can enjoy it. Some of the self-inflicted pressures off a little bit. You've done it.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Have you felt like that? You've killed some really good deer, a couple really big ones. Do you feel like there's self-inflicted pressure or pressure from your family or friends or anything, or being on the Working Class Bowhunter podcast? Is there any pressure from that?
I do feel like there is some pressure that gets put on you, be on the podcast and then just family rivalries, talking shit.
Oh, yeah.
But you never know. We're young. It could always happen. You never know what could happen. Those 200 could be around the corner. Who knows?
I think we should do a bet. I don't know, a gentleman's bet or whatever you want to do, but I don't know. We could do it between you and I or whoever. You're in Iowa, I'm in Michigan. First guy to kill a 200-inch deer between the two of us, the other guy has to buy that guy a beer. That's pretty fair, right?
Yeah, I'll raise you. You gotta buy him a 30-pack. There you go.
Hey, okay. Don't go too far. All right. You guys don't have to pay tax out in Iowa, do you?
Huh?
Do you guys have to pay deposit out in Iowa? I think you do. Do you have to pay a deposit?
I think so.
Yeah, we're 10 cents. I think you might be 5 cents. Is that true? I'm just. I don't know why I came up with that. A lot of states you don't have to pay deposit. Michigan we do. So a 30-pack's only $22. 30-pack of Busch lattes.
I think ours is 10-cent deposit.
Is it? I know some are 5 cents. I'm looking at this.
Look at this beer real quick. Oh, we're 5 cents. Never mind, I lied.
New York, Virginia, 5 cents. Michigan, Oregon, 10 cents. Michigan, Oregon, 10 cents. There you go. Yeah, well, I say we virtually handshake on that. We'll do that. And
You got a bet.
200, just a gross boon. I mean, we're not talking typical or nets. I'm talking gross. Talking gross.
I actually, I can probably tell it this year since my neighbor killed it. For 3 years, I've been trying to chase down a 12-pointer on the parents' farm. And my neighbor actually killed a muzzleloader this year.
Oh.
And he was nice enough to let me score it for him, too. So I scored it at 195 as a typical 12-pointer.
A typical 12-point?
Yeah, with double brows. So he grossed, well, I scored him at 195 gross. So that one hurt a little bit.
Man. You know, I've seen some pretty big deer, even like filming, you know, when I wasn't hunting. We've been on some pretty big deer. And I feel like when they get to like that mid to upper 160s to the low 170s, it is really hard to score them on the hoof. Is that something It's so hard.
After, you know, like you said, 160s, they could be anywhere. I mean, you see a 200 deer, you probably know it's over 200, but from 200 down to 160, that's a hard one to judge.
Oh, so hard. And I feel like we had one deer in Kansas a couple years ago. We figured he'd fall probably in the mid 190s, but it was so, when you get from like 190 to 200, it's like, man, I mean,
he's counting inches then.
Yeah, you're like just growing antlers on his beam. Like, oh, just get another one. Just get another one. You know, so tough. But I mean, that's a hard problem to have though too.
Yeah, I know. You hate to see it, right?
You really hate to see it. Oh man. Well, we're coming up on time here. I'm trying to think. I love this podcast. Love the conversation. A little different. Little turkey hunt. Little BS session. And
it's always nice to sit and bullshit, you know.
Yeah, and I'm
glad
I
still
could
professional on the podcast.
Well, 100%. You got to stay professional. I'm glad I was the guy that could pop the cherry for you.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was great. Did you have a good time? Was it a good experience?
Yeah.
Was it better than the working class Bowhunter experience?
Ooh, I don't know. I've had some good ones.
No, you guys got a great thing going over there, and
Thanks, you're doing good yourself. I like it. I
appreciate it, man. I listen to every one you guys do. Love everything you guys are doing. I've been listening to it for a long time, and I look up to you guys. So I thank you a lot for coming on and doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
I didn't fall asleep, so that's good.
Ask some different questions to you. So, well, we'll have to do this again after you kill your bird this spring. So let me know when you killed your bird. I'll see when you kill your bird. So let's do it.
Yeah, I got 2 bow tags in Iowa, and then a bow tag for Turkey Palooza in Illinois.
There you go. Go double up in Iowa, and then go over to Turkey Palooza and kill one there.
There you go.
And we'll have a.
Is that easy, right?
It is. It really is, especially when you have a mustache like yourself, and you basically
I think it's a beard, so they come running in.
There you go.
That's a secret.
You basically wake up and piss excellence every day, don't you?
Nah, I mean,
just knowing that you're the
your
greatest.
Your words, not mine. You said it.
I'm just wondering why Kurt hasn't made a shirt with your face on the front of the shirt with the mustache. I just don't understand it.
I mean, it could be in the works. I don't want to throw anything out there, but
let me know when the pre-orders happen. Well, good deal, man. Thank you very much again, and I appreciate doing this.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And there you have it. Another great episode. Thank you, Doug, for coming on and doing this, man. Really greatly appreciate that. Thank you to everybody out there listening for all the support, all the downloads, and thank you for allowing me to be possibly a mental vacation for all you guys week in and week out. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget, go to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating, and leave a written review. That'd be greatly appreciated. And don't forget, go to IamHumanimal.com. Check out all our new stories. There's new content up every week. 989 Gobbler Club, the 1 Acre, the Great Hambino, the birth of the 6.8 Western from Winchester, and Searching for Sundown. Those are the stories live right now. We're getting ready to go live with more stories, so that's it. That's all I got for this week. I guess we'll see you right here next week on the Fall Podcast. Thank you, guys.